he's having all these equipment problems. Could he have not taken some of that money last year and bought some stuff knowing he's got all this ancient equipment?
We did.
We did.
What about the $80,000 you had left?
He still has it, it's in his checking account.
It's in the
Doesn't,
unencumbered
just because it's
funds.
not budgeted, doesn't mean we don't have it, it's in his checking account.
Well, he could have had extra if he had spent it.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Did you not, you didn't reduce his budget for this coming year by the $80,000?
Yes, we did.
Right, so if he had spent it, he could have bought equipment with it and still had a regular budget for this year. He could have bought more stuff last year, but reduced the budget, and he's got all these antiques. He should have spent the money.
No?
The Triton, I mean, the Ancient Blue isn't yet an antique. It's got less miles than
No,
my
we spent $103,000
Bought a
on,
lot of equipment.
actually more,
There are some antiques there,
$106,000
too.
that wasn't
That's what it
budgeted.
You can't buy everything in one year, I mean, he bought quite a bit of equipment last year.
You did,
It sounds like he's still got a pile of junk.
He does, but we're working on it.
right, it's been a long-standing pile of junk.
But you
Takes a
gave
while to get through it.
But you gave $80,000 back. In the meantime, the general fund went up 6%. Right?
It means that we use some of the highway money to balance the budget. He had more, the
Right.
highway fund had more money in it, that's why. The general fund is not as well
So that
off.
was useful for, I mean, that was to the benefit of the town.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's just unencumbered money. I mean, that's from all the line items in the highway budget. It's not just the equipment budget or what have you. You know, we also had a percentage in that increase for health insurance that, you know, some of that money's gonna go towards. We also have contract negotiations that, you know, so there's a lot of money there that also has to accompany that.
That's why we have to wait and see what that result is before we talk about any new equipment.
And we won't know that until the year. That's why I'm saying it's not imperative that I go out tomorrow and buy equipment. We gotta see where that money lies from sometime.
Yep. Okay. We have, our appointments listed here for the two planning board alternates. We'll pass those next week. Both, want to be reappointed. Camp. It's in the back. Matt sent over some proposals for pre-camp care and post-camp care. The resident, non-resident, camp rates are the same with an increased charge of 40 in the morning and 50 in the afternoon for residents. And, anyone that wants to have their kids dropped off any time between 7:30 in the morning and picked up by 5:30 in the afternoon. So I think it's important that they added the morning session, that we didn't have that in the past, and it was definitely a problem. Also, Matt is proposing if the third week is, short on campers, we would consider doing 1 week camp for some of at a reduced rate for kids that, might be able to go 1 week instead of 2 and fill up the camp a little bit better that way. So, bye Bob, thank you.
Thank you.
So I think this is a good proposal, so we'll pass that next week. We, as everybody I know on the board knows, we did get the grant for the charging stations. Thank you, everyone, Jen, for all the hard work. Jill, she's gonna have a lot of hard work.
I'll help her with it.
And we have 2 quotes here for the equipment. And next week, we'd like to pass the resolution and the contract. We've already, do we already do?
Yeah, so I just want to point out something in the
Yeah.
quotes that I just noticed today. So I got, that second quote, and it was $100 cheaper, but I noticed today that that one does not include shipping and handling, and the other does, so it's basically the same amount. And I think the plug-in online, that he is gonna be doing the installation, so since it doesn't make a difference which we go with, we should go with him, I think, because he'll just do the whole thing.
I understand your recommendation and agree with it. So let's get something in place from him for next week so that we can approve him doing the job and hiring this and
So
getting
what exactly should I ask
We
him
need
for?
some kind of document that says, how much he'll do it for, installation, and that, that he'll honor the quote that he gave us.
Right, so that we have, 'cause the quote is good through March.
Is it on here?
But do we want,
Well, if he's the person doing, if he's the person doing the installation,
yeah, so,
we need to, this is just a quote for the price. So we need to say he's honoring we've got a quote, so we can use this quote, but if he's the one installing it and ordering it, we need to have that in his contract, if he's ordering it and everything, at this price. You understand?
right, so, but we're not, or do we want a contract?
We have to.
That's it, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get
Yeah.
at, that's what we want.
But I just wanna make sure it's not just his labor, it's gotta say the equipment.
We own that afterwards, so if there's any, preventive maintenance on it, or any,
So there's a 1 year.
warranty.
There's a 1 year.
For both
warranty.
work and the equipment?
It's just the equipment, I think.
Does he service
work
them?
is pretty
Does he service them
straightforward.
too?
Yeah, he does.
I don't think we need to do a service contract.
No, we see what the what the service is, if
Yep.
you're trying to lay it on someone else in the town, that's for sure. Ahead of time, before we,
Yeah.
know what we're setting ourselves up for. Right.
Yeah, I talked to him about that a bit when I was first applying for the grant, and he said, the cord is the one thing, getting but this, they now make it with a retractable cord, so it's less
Like the
likely to
new
get.
ones?
So when they drive away, it just stays with the machine? and
Yeah.
they buy a new one? Yeah, I'm
But
sure
there's,
that's-
you don't have to worry about them
Doesn't
leaving the
go on
cord on the
this
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, take the whole unit out.
It says 1 year manufacturer
So
warranty.
the car cannot drive when it's plugged in. A little safety feature built into the design of the car, yeah.
Is the fire department, where is this located now?
It's going to be, where the Street Fest stage is?
Yeah, in the back?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's right next to the Street Fest stage.
It's like we're creating 2 new parking spots back there.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
The,
a little separate, which is nice, so people won't
I don't know,
park there.
I do know that if you're a firefighter and you go to one of these electric cars, you want to check your P's and Q's for cutting people out of it. Because of the amount of power that's in the car now. It's not just the gasoline, it's the electric lines that run through the car. So the only reason I bring up the fire department is if there's one in there, if they, as long as they know where it is, the potential it involves, they already are aware of.
Getting the
because-
education is
Right.
important for them, yeah.
You know?
That's a good idea. We
Yeah.
should probably do it.
Yeah, that's a good
Just
point.
just let them know it's there, there's a car,
Right.
cars will be plugged in, and
Right,
you
yeah.
go back there and you go to put a fire out, and you don't know that it's an electrical car plugged into an electrical charging station, you're liable to get the change of your life. The situation can be just handled by letting them know that that exists.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Mhm. Yeah, and then we're gonna have the building inspector oversee the work, too. And I talked to Bob Gallagher, and he's good with being essentially being in charge of,
Making sure it's cared for, because
Yeah.
it's about, they gotta plow and everything
yeah,
back there
making
anyway,
sure
so.
it's kept clear. and that kind of thing. I mean, they
May
plow
have to
that
plug one of
anyway.
his trucks in.
Huh?
but-
Not yet, we're not doing that yet. Jen's trying to find a way to make sure that all town equipment becomes
Gets
electric.
plugged in.
Yeah, and then we get solar, and then it's all free.
All right.
So, yeah.
Anything else on that?
No, let's do it as soon as we can. I mean, I will just say that I changed, so they give you, I spoke with Gene about this, they give you a chance to make any changes to your contract. You know, you kind of do all the work plan and the budget and everything in the application, and they allow you to change things before they review the contract. And so I spoke with Bob and Gene, and we shifted things around so that we could, the original proposal, it didn't include paving. Bob was just gonna do item 4 basically, and like a gravel, but now it's gonna be paved. Around so that we can do that.
Will you be creating more pervious surface on it?
Yeah, I am, for 2 parking
Is that going
spaces.
against your,
In this case,
And in that
no.
area, which is prone to the natural beauty
Just that spot.
back there, we always just want just.
No.
I know how that one works. I know how that works.
Yeah, but you have to scrape it, and you have to make it clear that it's different from the rest of the.
you want it to be delineated, so you
Right.
think that would be better.
Yeah,
I get it.
that's very good.
I know you guys just give me a hard time.
Yeah, we can't help ourselves. We can't help ourselves. All right, I'd like to do the resolution for MS4, 2017-1, contract for New and Larios for MS4 separate storm sewer system management consulting. Whereas the town of Rosendale is a regulated municipal separate storm sewer community, MS4. And whereas the town of Rosendale is committed to the management of stormwater control and pollution prevention, and whereas the town board of the town of Rosendale is in need of an MS4 consultant for the 2017-2018 year. And whereas Bernier and Larios of 67 Maiden Lane, Kingston, New York, 12401 have submitted a proposal for engineering services related to MS4 reporting. And whereas Bernier and Larios have agreed to provide services for $3,360. Now therefore be resolved, the town board, town of Rosendale will authorize supervisor to sign attachment contract for MS4 consulting.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Slavsky,
Yes.
Councilman Klebite,
Yes.
Supervisor Wall.
Yes. Just to point out, I don't think he's ever raised his rate since he's been helping us, right? We've gone on maybe 3 or 4 years. Just kept it the same. Huh?
No reminder.
No, I think he's just,
That's really nice.
they're doing that on purpose, which is
Yeah,
nice.
that's great.
So, we have a resolution to, support a bill, that is being proposed to, both, I guess, both the Assembly and the Senate, starting, right, to, allow the towns to have the same authority over pipelines as the, villages and cities along the line. And, I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Jen, before we vote on it.
Right. No, only that, you know, this is a very old law. New York State Transportation Corporation's law. It goes back to the 19th century, and it's not at all clear why it's just, the authority is just limited to cities and villages, but, you know, it should be extended to towns, and of course, it would give us approval of authority over the siting of Pilgrim pipelines or any other project.
So we're planning to do the resolution tonight, but, you know, it's pretty much been thrown at you this evening, so I don't know if anybody has any questions or concerns about it, since it hasn't, if everybody has, I know, Frank, this is new for you, you haven't really been introduced to the pipeline issue. I think it's probably a good move, because the villages have the authority to say what happens in their towns, in their area, and we don't. And I think we should have that authority. I don't see why we should be treated any different than a village or a city.
Yeah, it was one of these where the old law preceded the establishment of towns.
Probably.
Or incorporated.
Right.
To me, it's a no-brainer, and, you know,
No-brainers.
even if you weren't, you know, whatever your position is on it, it doesn't make sense that we don't have the same rights as others. you know.
Right. And is it a time crunch?
And whatever their
That's
history.
why I thought we had some time issues on this.
There's not a, we can, if you want.
I'm okay with doing it tonight, I just want to make sure, because we handed it out tonight, that no one had a problem with that. Did you email it to everybody, Jill?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So everybody's had a chance to look at it, but, you know.
And we discussed it, and regardless of what the, I mean, I'm as curious as everybody else, why, and what sort of historic error or mishap, you know, that omitted it. But if you're going from a village and a city and the towns in between, it would seem the intent is fairly clear. The town should be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Like,
sense.
make-
All right, I'm gonna go ahead then. Resolution 2/2017 2. Huh?
Wait, you want me?
Can I read it?
Oh, sure, go ahead, Jen, live it up.
Whereas the proposed construction, it's a highlight of my neck. Whereas the proposed construction of major new oil pipelines will impact the lands and communities of the town of Rosendale, 31 other towns, cities, and villages in the Hudson Valley, Catskill Region, and Capital District, raising issues of safety, public health, and economic injury of concern to local government. And whereas Section 87 of the Transportation Corporation's law gives villages and cities important powers over the oil pipeline siting process, allowing them to disapprove the construction of such pipelines through their jurisdictions. And whereas under such section of law, towns do not have comparable authority, and whereas extending such authority to towns is appropriate and consistent with municipal home rule, and whereas Assembly Member Frank Scartatos has introduced Assembly Bill 2446 to amend Section 87 of Transportation Corporation's law to extend this power to towns, giving towns parity with villages and cities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale hereby requests that State Senator John J. Bonasek sponsor the same bill in the New York State Senate. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale requests that Assembly Member Kevin A. Cahill to co-sponsor, request that, it should be Assembly Member Kevin A. Cahill co-sponsor Assembly Bill 2446. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Rosendale urges its state legislative representatives to support the passage of this important legislation in the 2017 legislative session. And be it further resolved that the Rosendale Town Clerk is hereby directed to provide a copy of this resolution to Senator John J. Bonasek, Assembly Member Kevin A. Cahill, Senate Temporary President and Majority Leader John J. Flanagan, Assembly Speaker Carl E. Hasty, and Governor Andrew M. Cuomo.
Second?
Well, seeing as it says I made the motion, I
Oh.
made the motion, so, even though you read it, so you can second it, Jen. You gotta make it legal, Jen. We'll vote Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Wasowski,
Yes.
Councilman Flipway,
Yes.
Supervisor Wall. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So,
I got some budget transfers, gonna do for 2016, finish up the paperwork for the year.
I'm gonna, sorry, talk about the cover letter.
2017, 3, be resolved that the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorize following budgetary transfers. 1355.4 to 1355.1, $55.38. 1450.4 to 1620.1, $2,456.71. 3310.1 to 3310.2, $790.60. 3620.2 to 3510.1, $1,188.78. 5010.4 to 5010.1, $70.92. 7140.1 to 7150.4, $3,770.78. 7310.2 to 7310.4, $54.30. 8010.4 to 8010.1, $3.88. 8010.4 to 8020.4, $266.43. 8160.1 to 8160.4, $809.44. 8160.1 to 9040.8, $5,331.68. highway fund, 5112.2 to 5110.4, $31.84. 5142.1 to 5130.2, $3,517.48. 5142.4 to 9950.9, $43,420. 5142.4 to 5130.2, $11,743. 5110.1 to 5130.2, $10,707.47. 5148.4 to 9060.8, $87.47 and 60 cents. 9030.8 to 9060.8, $8,624.30. 5110.1 to 9060.8, $4,415.11. 5130.4 to 5140.1, $291.94. 5130.4 to 5140.4, $75.69. For the sewer fund, 8110.4 to 8110.1, $7,078.69. 8110.2 to 8120.4, $231.30. The water fund, 8330.2 to 8330.1, $1,074.34. 8320.4 to 8320.1, $199.18. 8330.4 to 9010.8, $7,097. 8340.1 to 8340.4, $5,055.83. What you doing?
Second?
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Maslowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gleppies,
Yes.
Supervisor Wolf. Yes. She's throwing me off. She put it in alphabetical order.
That's all right.
Huh?
It threw me off at first.
We have considered a new electrical inspector, Northeast Electrical Inspections. We never did that resolution? I thought we did.
I thought we did.
Are you sure?
We did to review this month.
Huh?
No, we did.
So we signed it.
But we didn't, did we do the resolution though, or did we just review
We
it?
can do it again.
I can't remember.
I
Just to
thought-
be safe.
I was
You did
sure
it.
we did it. But maybe I'm wrong.
I know we talked
minutes?
about
We
it.
talked about it.
but
I just don't remember if we took action.
You know what'll be in the minutes.
So I'm looking. Look in the minutes, Mandy.
So I think it's the one elected, so maybe.
This might have been one of those things we said we'd review, but then we did a resolution anyway.
On this regular meeting last month, you asked us to look at it.
We didn't pass it.
No.
Right? That's why we have Jill around. We also,
My mind, it doesn't open.
we also, we did it.
Yeah.
All right, 2017-4. Resolution authorizing Dave Neer of Northeast Electrical Inspections LLC to conduct business in the town of Rosendale. Whereas David Neer of Northeast Electrical Inspections LLC, 65 Aldomero Road, Scotia, New York, 12302, has requested the opportunity to perform electrical inspections in the town of Rosendale. And whereas the building inspector affirms the need for another electrical inspection contractor in the town, and recommends the town board authorize the above named to do business in Rosendale, and has provided documentation attesting to the experience and credentials of the above. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Rosendale hereby authorizes Dave Neer of Northeast Electrical Inspections LLC to conduct business in Rosendale.
Okay, second that?
Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Maslowski,
Yes.
Councilman Gleppies,
Yes.
Supervisor Wolf.
Yes.
Joe, can
I get a copy of the final resolution? So I'll look at the other.
Once I take everything all in
one is the wastewater treatment plant seeker. The town had done seeker quite a while back, it looks like March 2011. So this is an updated seeker, so that we can go forward with our application for March. Resolution reestablishing Town of Rosendale Town Board as lead agency and reaffirming that the action to construct the Rosendale wastewater treatment plant improvements project is an unlisted action and will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. Whereas the Town of Rosendale is proposing various improvements to the existing wastewater treatment plant in the Town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York. And whereas pursuant to Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law as amended the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECR, and implementing regulations at 6 New York CRR Part 617, the regulations the town desires to comply with SECR and regulations with respect to the project. And whereas on March 9, 2011, the town closed a letter in Part 1 of the full EAF to be sent other potential involved agencies and interested agencies as these quoted terms are defined in the regulations, indicating the Town of Rosendale's Town Board desire to serve as lead agency for a coordinated review under SECR for the project. And whereas each of the involved agencies or potential involved agencies agreed to or raised no objection to the Town Board serving as lead agency for a coordinated review under SECR of the project, and whereas pursuant to the regulations, the Town Board has considered the significance of the potential environmental impacts of the project by using the criteria specified in section 617.7 of the regulations, and B, examining the full EAF for the project, including the facts and conclusions on pages 1 and 2 of the EAF, together with other available supporting information, to identify the relevant areas of environmental concern and thoroughly analyze the areas of relevant environmental concern. And whereas the proposed project will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment for the reasons enumerated in the attached negative declaration form. Now therefore be resolved pursuant to and in accordance with the coordinated reviews requirements of SECR, the Town of Rosendale Town Board hereby reestablishes itself as lead agent for the project. And be further resolved that based upon examination of the full EAF and other available supporting information considering both the magnitude and importance of each relevant area of environmental concern, and based further upon the Town Board's knowledge of the areas surrounding the project and such further investigation of the project as potential environmental impact as the Town Board is deemed appropriate, the Town Board makes the following findings and determinations. The project constitute an unlisted action as quoted the terms defined in the regulations, and no significant adverse environmental impacts are noted in the EAF for the project and none are known to the Town Board. Therefore, the Town Board hereby determines that the project will not have a significant adverse environmental impact, and will not require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement, DEIS, with respect to the project. It is further resolved that as a consequence of such determination in compliance with the requirements of SECR, the regulations, the Town Board directs the Town Supervisor to finalize the attached negative declarations for the project in accordance with the regulations. And be further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Just want to make sure that everything's filled out before we vote on it. So just so everybody understands, because in 2011 they did SECR and did the environmental impact, we're reaffirming all of this. And our engineers have filled this out for me, so I don't think there's anything more to do. So he's checked as unlisted. And there's part 1 here, yeah. Everybody good?
Almost,
Huh?
almost done. It's
Okay.
good so far.
I mean, does it matter that none of the questions in
That's the, most of those are if, yes.
Yeah, if
Oh,
yes,
okay.
and based,
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. I mean, normally when it's SECR, we go through all the questions and answer them, but because it's already, we're just reestablishing, I don't think we need to do that. That's you.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Councilman Hughes?
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger?
Yes.
Councilman Wozzachowski?
Yes.
Councilman Buckley?
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh?
Yes. You'll have to certify that. So we have to set a public hearing for both the water district bond. Oh, let me go back. We have to set a public hearing for the sewer district, Rosendale Sewer District Improvement Area number 6 to do this application. But we've just recently realized that we need to amend our bond for the water district to be able to handle some of the change orders that have happened. One being the bridge, water line improvement on the bridge, and some of the change orders that happened at the Still Pond. And so after Terry and I and our engineers talked to EFC, Rosendale had slated $1.6 million additional funding for this project. And did they send us that email in here, Joe?
Yeah, it's on the last page.
So email's on the last page. So our bond counsel is, we'd have to start the process now to amend the resolution so that our bond can be bigger if it needs to be. But as of now, we have to amend the bond in order to continue. So so it was recommended that we, amend it to the additional 1.6 and use as much as we need, but it'll only bond it eventually for whatever we use rather than how much we're approving for the bond council. So we need to set a public hearing for both of these. And we had, Jill, what was the dates we looked at for the engineer?
We're doing February 15th at 5.
February 15th is a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
It's the following Wednesday after our next town board meeting. And who can make that?
I can. I got that.
I gotta check with him.
Hmm?
They're not gonna, but I just wanna make sure it's on.
Maybe Alexis can make it?
February 15th.
I can make it by 6, and
Oh, no, it's the 20th.
I'll see if I can get out earlier.
If we have 4, we're okay. We're okay for
That would be your season.
I'm just looking at this, I don't know.
I'm free the 22nd.
You too.
So Mandy, you know that you're gonna have to do a public notice.
Two of them.
Can we read the resolution? Whereas pursuant to proceedings heretofore had and taken by the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, pursuant to the provisions of section 202B of the town law, has been determined to be in the public interest to provide for certain increased improvements of facilities of the Rosendale Water District at a maximum estimated cost of $3,048,800. And whereas such increased improvements of facilities consist of the reconstruction, upgrade of the water treatment plant, replacement of water mains, reconstruction of Sand Hill water storage tank, and purchase and installation of water usage meters and monitoring equipment, including land or rights in hand, original furnishings, equipment, machinery, and apparatus, as well as the costs incidental thereto, All is more fully described in the map, plan, and report, including an estimate of costs prepared in connection therewith, which is on file at the office of the town clerk of such town. And whereas ordered to complete the improvements to the aforesaid facility will be necessary to expend the sum of $4,648,000, an increase of $1,599,200 over that previously authorized, and where it is now desired to call public hearing on the question of authorizing such increase and improvement of facilities at a revised cost of $4,648,000. Now therefore it is hereby ordered by the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, as follows. Section 1, public hearing will be held at the town hall in Rosendale, New York, in said town on the 15th day of February 2017 at 5:00 p.m. prevailing time on the question of increasing and improving the facilities of the Rosendale Water District in the manner described in the preambles hereof, and to hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same, and to take such action thereon as required by or authorized by law. Section 2, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause a copy of the notice of public hearing herein provided to the public, published once in the official newspaper designated for this purpose, and also to cause a copy thereof to be posted on the signboard of the town. Such publication and posting to be made not less than 10 or more than 20 days before the date designated for the hearing. Section 3, the notice of public hearing shall be substantially the following form. Do I have to read that too?
No. That's just my good news for me.
All right.
And that's what I'm saying.
So then the next page is your,
Whether it should take effect immediately.
so this roll vote here, is that for the actual voting of the resolution after the public hearing? Or is that for today?
That's what the front page is.
Okay, for that, okay.
They'll need to sign one copy.
No, not for this, she just has to read it. Roll vote for this.
Oh, yeah,
Second.
I was just something they're wording. Roll vote, Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski,
Yes.
Councilman Cadice, sorry.
Yes.
Supervisor Walsh.
Yes.
I was confused because it's in the corner,
Hmm?
on the top right-hand corner of the first page.
Yeah.
It threw me off a little bit, so I was
Yeah.
trying to fix it, so I didn't forget.
Okay, a regular meeting of the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, held at the Runnet Municipal Center, Providence, New York, said town on the first day of February 2017 at 7:00. Whereas a report and plan including an estimate of costs have been duly prepared in such manner and in such detail as heretofore been determined by the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, relating to sewage system improvements to serve benefit area in said town, whose boundaries shall consist of, that will be filled in later. And whereas said plan and report, including estimate of cost, were prepared by a competent engineer and duly licensed state of New York and have been filed in the office of the town clerk of said town. The same are available during regular office hours for examination by any person issues the subject matter thereof. Whereas the capital improvements proposed in connection with the establishment of the sewer improvement consist of wastewater treatment plant improvements, as well as incidental expenses in connection therewith at a maximum estimated cost of $2,529,000. And whereas said maximum estimated cost shall be authorized to be financed by the issuance of the town of Rosendale of its serial bonds with a maximum maturity not in excess of the 40-year period prescribed in the local finance law. And whereas said at maximum estimated cost is not greater than 1/10 of 1% for the full valuation of taxable real property in the area of the town of Rosendale outside of any concerning the same, all in accordance with the provisions of section 209Q of the town law. Now therefore be ordered by the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, as follows. Section 1, a public meeting of the town board of the town of Rosendale, Ulster County, New York, shall be held at the town hall in Cotting Hill, New York, in said town on the 15th day of February 2017 at, let me say 5:30? 5:30 o'clock, prevailing time to consider the aforesaid plan and report, including estimate of costs, and hear all persons interested in the subject thereof concerning the same, to say, take such action thereon as required by law. Section 2, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to post a copy of this order to be published once in Daily Freeman, and also to post a copy thereof on the town signboard maintained by the town clerk not less than 10 days, nor more than 20 days before the date designated at the hearing as aforesaid, in all accordance with provisions of section 209Q of the town law. This order shall take effect immediately. Question of adoption of the foregoing order was duly put to a vote on roll call with result.
Second?
Roll call, Councilman Hughes.
Yes.
Councilman Metzger.
Yes.
Councilman Kozlowski.
Yes.
Councilman Cutlight.
Yes.
Supervisor Walter. She'll remind me, I just thought of something about the paperwork we had to do for the sewer plant. I remembered something about the bonding that I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
I have a question. We have a big stack of applications, I noticed, which is great. And a number of reappointments that have already, been recommended by the bodies. But for ones where there are multiple, for vacancies, we send them back to the various commissions and boards.
I think Joe's already done that.
Danny's done that.
What, you got recommendations from boards and commissions?
She's been
given
sent back
to
to them for it.
Some have gotten back to, some haven't. If they gave them to us, then they're attached. But some of the boards aren't meeting between the time that they get the application and we have our meeting.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So for those, didn't they make a recommendation?
They've been asked to.
So we'll be able to act on the recommendations until next month or something.
That's great.
Yeah.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second?
Bye.